A man named Hunter receives a message early in the morning while heading to his office and becomes extremely angry. When he arrives at his workplace, he discovers that one of their secret operations in Bangkok has failed. He asks his colleagues, "What's going on?" They reply, "It was probably the work of the Ghost." As soon as Hunter hears the name the Ghost, he becomes visibly disturbed and says, "The Ghost is an unmatched criminal. Everything he touches gets destroyed, and he is impossible to track down." Mike shows Hunter an image and says, "This is the only person who managed to survive the operation. He is likely the Ghost himself." Hunter tells his colleagues, "Track him down as quickly as possible before Brant finds out." But suddenly, Brant greets Hunter, revealing that he knows the whole story. Brant, being smarter than everyone else, approaches his colleague and asks, "What's the problem?" The colleague replies, "We don't have a professional in Bangkok who can go after the Ghost because he is far from an ordinary person." Hunter suggests, "Send the Singaporean assassins." But Brant responds, "They are an hour away from the Ghost, and there's no way they can succeed." When they review the Ghost's path, they see he is heading towards the airport. They must find someone in Bangkok who can properly deal with him. Brant starts thinking and says, "I have a plan." The story then shifts to a man named Lucas, who is wandering around Bangkok. After waking up, he goes to a cafe for another drink. Suddenly, his phone rings, and as soon as he looks at the screen, he is shocked. He initially hangs up, but a few seconds later, the phone rings again. When he finally answers, he hears Brant on the other end. Brant tells Lucas, "Please don't hang up. I have something important to tell you." Lucas, angry, replies, "Damn you. You call me after 2 years and say you have something important." Furious, Lucas hangs up and says, "Never call me again." But Brant's team, who can accomplish any impossible task, calls the cafe phone instead and asks for Lucas. This time, when Lucas doesn't want to talk to Brant, a few thugs suddenly approach him and start beating him up. Brant, still persistent, calls Lucas again and says, "Just name your price." Lucas says, "You ruined my life," and Brant replies, "If you do what I ask, you will return to your former life." Seeing no other choice, Lucas agrees. Brant tells Lucas, "Go straight to the airport, and I'll give you further instructions." Lucas laughs and says, "I'm banned from leaving the country, and I don't have a passport." But Brant insists, "Don't worry about it. Just go." Lucas takes a taxi and heads to the airport. After some time, he arrives at Bangkok Airport. A man passes by him and hands him a new passport. Brant also sends the flight number and ticket details to Lucas's phone via SMS. Meanwhile, Brant's team, still searching for the Ghost, discovers that he is injured and bleeding. They quickly inform Lucas, hoping to make his task easier. When Lucas hands over his passport for inspection, the system initially shows an error, but on the second attempt, everything works smoothly and Lucas passes the security check. Lucas tries to gather more information about the Ghost, but Brant tells him, "All we know is that he's injured and we have no other details." 6 crew members are set to staff the flight from Bangkok to San Francisco, and Jimmy reminds them, "Make sure to keep the customers satisfied." After a while, passengers begin boarding the plane, and Lucas steps in. As soon as he enters, he starts observing the passengers until he finds a seat next to a man. Finally, the plane takes off, and Lucas feels relieved, thinking he's finally escaping the chaos. One of Brant and Hunter's colleagues tells them, "While searching for the Ghost, we discovered that a $10 million bounty has been placed on his head. Someone posted this information online, and now several dangerous assassins are after him." When Brant checks the system, he realizes that the flight Lucas is on is filled with dangerous killers. The passenger next to Lucas starts a conversation, trying to engage him, but Lucas doesn't pay much attention. He walks around the cabin for a bit, observing the other passengers, and then returns to his seat. The man beside Lucas tries talking to him again, this time offering him a drink. Unable to resist the temptation of a drink, Lucas finishes it all in one go. Just as Lucas tries to send a message, he realizes his vision is blurry and starts suspecting the person who gave him the drink. As he approaches the person, he suddenly collapses. The man helps Lucas up, but, away from the other passenger's eyes, starts attacking him, attempting to kill him. It becomes clear that the man is also a bounty hunter who wants to get rid of Lucas. Although Lucas is unaware of the $10 million bounty, he tries to defend himself and stay alive. Realizing he has to act fast, Lucas swiftly overpowers the assassin and saves himself. Afterward, Lucas heads to the bathroom, drinks a bit of shampoo, and tries to vomit to flush out any remaining poison. Meanwhile, the other bounty hunters on the plane begin preparing, arming themselves heavily to claim the reward. As Lucas hides the assassin's body, a flight marshal and two crew members try to open the door to see what he is doing. When Lucas finally opens the door, they notice a few bloodstains. The marshal tries to arrest Lucas, but Lucas quickly overpowers and ties him up. Lucas asks the two flight attendants, Aisha and Raj, to help him find his target. He tells them, "I'm an FBI agent, and the lives of all passengers are at risk." Aisha becomes visibly anxious after hearing this. The crew members give Lucas a change of clothes so he doesn't look suspicious. Lucas takes the passenger list and starts examining who is awake and who is asleep, trying to identify his target. Raj then informs Lucas that another flight marshal has been killed and his body has been moved to the plane's cargo hold. Lucas and Aisha head to the cargo hold, where they discover the dead marshal's body. Lucas, being a true professional, notices Aisha's excessive worry and constant questions. Suspicious, he suddenly says, "Take off your uniform," convinced she might be the ghost. But suddenly, another assassin attacks Aisha, attempting to kill her. In just a second, Aisha takes down the assassin, and now Lucas is almost sure that Aisha is the ghost herself. Lucas decides to tie up Aisha and take her in alive, but Aisha argues, "I'm a flight attendant. If I disappear, everyone will notice, and that will only make things harder for you." Lucas reluctantly agrees to follow her wherever she goes until he can turn her in. First, they go to the cockpit, warning the pilots, "One of the passengers is in danger. Don't open the door for anyone except us, or terrible things could happen." Lucas then heads to the plane's VIP section to carefully review the passenger list. Suddenly, a serial killer attacks Lucas, trying to kill him. Although the killer is highly skilled, Lucas quickly takes him down. Just as Lucas tries to catch his breath, another group of bounty hunters appears, and he gets into another fight. After dealing with them, more attackers arrive, and the fight continues. Lucas barely gets a moment of rest before he notices his own photo on one of the attackers' phones. A bounty has been placed on his head. Lucas thinks all this trouble is because of Aisha and starts arguing with her. But the head flight attendant interrupts and tells Lucas, "All the passengers have your photo and are actively searching for you." As soon as the assassins become quiet, waiting for a chance to strike, Lucas charges in and engages them. The bounty hunters swarm him, beating him mercilessly. But for Lucas, it's like child's play. He defeats all of them. Suddenly, one of the attackers recognizes Aisha's true identity and attacks her. But Aisha, who is just as skilled as Lucas, swiftly takes him down. As Lucas tries to rest again, a group of Shaolin girls suddenly attacks him. Just as they are about to fight, Aisha intervenes and says, "The Shaolin girls are my friends and are fiercely loyal to me." Aisha notices that Lucas is badly injured and takes him to the cargo hold of the plane to treat his wound. Meanwhile, Brant's team finally discovers the true identity of the target, and we learn that Aisha is actually the ghost. Hunter, who is part of Brant's team, steps out of the room, talking on his phone, but Brant notices his suspicious behavior. When Lucas begins to feel better, he asks Aisha, "What's your story?" Aisha starts explaining, "I was one of the 200 million orphan children around the world. When they discovered my special talent for accessing any security and information system, they recruited me. I did whatever they wanted for years." She continues, "But eventually when I realized what I was doing was wrong, I escaped from them and built this device." Aisha points to a device and says, "This is a supercomputer capable of performing tasks in 30 seconds that would take other computers years to complete. It must never fall into the wrong hands." As soon as Hunter sends Aisha's photo to all the assassins on the plane, Brant confronts him and threatens him to explain what's going on. Hunter reveals, "One of the ghost's friends messaged me, saying she has built a device capable of taking all of us down. So, 2 days ago, I posted the ghost's travel details on the dark web, and now the plane is full of assassins." Hunter continues, "While they kill the ghost, I'll easily get my hands on the device. Whoever possesses this device can become a billionaire overnight." He then offers Brant a deal, "Either turn me in or work with me and become a billionaire." Being clever, Brant agrees to the plan. Meanwhile, Aisha's colleague calls her, warning, "Your picture is now with the assassins, and they'll soon reach the lower deck. You must be very careful." Lucas realizes he must confront the assassins directly, or they will all die. He decides to down the sedatives that Aisha had obtained from a veterinarian, hoping they will numb his pain during the fight. But within moments, he starts speaking nonsense. When the Shaolin master finds the bottle of sedatives, she discovers it is actually tarantula venom, not a sedative. But it is already too late. Lucas is hallucinating badly. The battle begins as the Shaolin warriors ambush the assassins from behind, and Lucas, now in a state of colorful hallucination, fights them off, seeing the world in a surreal, dreamlike way. Two armed assassins, frustrated with the ongoing fight, begin shooting, but a window in the plane shatters, creating a massive hole. Many passengers and assassins are sucked out. The pilot lowers the plane's altitude to save the remaining passengers, but the co-pilot, feeling nauseous, opens the cockpit door, allowing the assassins to storm in and kill both pilots. The plane is now without a pilot. The relentless bounty hunters prepare to finish off Lucas when Aisha bursts in, riding an electric cart. She hands Lucas a chainsaw, and he starts brutally tearing through anyone who approaches. One of the assassins targets Aisha, but the Shaolin master sacrifices herself to save her. Hunter and Brandt, thinking they have everything under control, head to the airport to watch Lucas and Aisha die and take the device. But after waiting for a while, the plane doesn't arrive. Brandt realizes something is wrong and, in a fit of rage, kills Hunter. Aisha struggles to control the plane while Brandt calls Lucas, demanding to know, "Where's the plane?" He reminds Lucas of their deal, but Lucas responds, "There was no deal. You owe me 2 years of my life that you stole." In the final scene, Lucas tells Brandt, "I know all your secrets now, and if you try to mess with me, I'll destroy you with this device." Aisha, relieved, tells Lucas, "I'm so glad you're not turning me in." She then reveals, "From the beginning, I've been controlling the plane using my device. We're not going to San Francisco.